Hey, Jim. We're back on the old Mercedes today. This car has been running really good. I've done a bunch of stuff to it. Here's my list. Uh, let's see here. I've done all sorts of stuff. If you've watched any of my other videos, yeah, everything crossed off since I got this car for next to nothing. I did notice my brake pedal pad is missing. I'm not doing that today. Today, I'm going to do an ABC system service with, I'm going to attempt to put in a new ABC filter and exchange some of the fluid, see if we can get a little cleaner. There's a front apron scrape. Maybe I'll take care of that. The brake pedal, it's just the little pad's missing. I think I might have one out there on my parts car. And I have not reset my check engine light yet. I have been preparing to do that because I've been driving it and I've been trying to give it an Italian tune-up. So I've been having some fun driving it like I stole it. And since I almost kind of feel like I did with how little I paid for it, it's all right. I'm having fun punching it. I don't think this car was kicking down before. The way the floor mats are not really correct for the car. I think they were preventing the accelerator pedal from going down as far as it can, because now it's kicking down and taking us all the way up to red line before shifts. And before, it was kind of slow and pokey. So I'm hoping that doing that will make it so when I reset my check engine light, I will end up with moving some of the carbon out and hopefully getting a clean bill of health. I have gone through, I have the luxury of having this owner's manual, and I went through and looked up as much as I could about maintenance of the ABC system. And the only thing I can see is this right here, where it says the oil level in the ABC system does not need to be checked. If there's visible oil loss or malfunction messages appear, have an authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer check it, the ABC system. So they don't want you to touch it. They don't want you to check the level, nothing. So first thing we're going to do is check the level. Before I check the level, though, I am going to put up a bunch of lighting underneath my hood so you can see better and I can see better. And then I've added my soft close trunk. I didn't think I had a soft close trunk. One of you lovely YouTubers, a guy with his own channel, Mike Smirks and Other Cars, and if you're interested in the car I'm working on, you should probably check out his channel because he does a lot of the same sort of stuff, it looks like. He said I had a soft close trunk, and I said I don't think I do, and I checked, and I do, and it is knackered. So check this guy out. So now I've put some light on the subject. In an earlier video, I tried to tell you that this is the power steering reservoir, and it is. And it does use the same fluid, but this is the actual ABC reservoir. I claimed they were sharing, and they share a pump, but I don't think the fluid mixes from one to the other. But either way, I'm going to use a vacuum pump. This is the power steering, and I did already top this one off a while ago, so it is at the right level. But I think today, since I'll be here doing this anyway, I'm going to use my vacuum pump and suck out whatever fluid is in here and replace it with fresh stuff. And then I'm going to take suck out whatever I can from here. I'm going to show you how to check the level as far as I understand it here in a moment. But what I'm about to try to do is suck out all the fluid that's in here with my vacuum pump and then refill it with fresh fluid. So I'm starting out with fresh stuff in the reservoir. And if I understand this correctly, this is a return line, and I think the filter is inside on this. And what I'm going to attempt to do is unhook this return line and then start the car up and have it pump, instead of returning the ABC fluid into my reservoir, it'll be pumping it into a holding tank. I have some bottles over there that I'm going to be transferring it into. I looked up the capacity, and the capacity of the whole system, according to my owner's manual, is I think it was like 1.3 gallons. So I got 2 more of these, and it was almost $200 for 2 more of those containers, and this is my filter. They had kind of a kit. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do here. And in order to check the fluid, this is my dipstick, you should pull it out and then wipe it off, wipe it nice and clean. Ooh, that does look like it is dirty. So then we'll put it back in, snap it down, back out, and then there are 2 sides on this. And you see this side says no, motor AUS unbeladen. And then you see just beyond that, there's this little notch here. So that means engine off. So if the engine's off and completely cooled down, the fluid level should be right where my thumb is. That's the high and the low level that I'm touching at the same time with my thumb. So it's low. That's where it should be when it's off and cool. And then down here, that's the level it should be, right between those two, when the engine is on and running. So what I'm going to do here is, when I get this rigged up and ready to start pumping, I'm going to be very careful to keep an eye on my fluid level in here. I don't want any air entering the system. And once I get comfortable with the rate at which it's coming out and needs to be put in, I'll probably start raising and lowering the suspension and exercise all the struts. I don't know if that needs to happen to get the fluid in and out of them and into this flow or not, but can't hurt. And I'll keep doing this until hopefully I'll keep checking the return fluid with clear containers, and hopefully after a while the fluid coming out of here will be cleaner, and then we'll know we've gotten somewhere anyway. So I did hang multiple lights up here, and I just wanted to quickly point out that I did use a hood support, because if you try to hang these without putting the hood support in, the hood will all of a sudden come down and whack you in the head. So in order to further prepare for this, I'm going to remove this snorkel to get out of the way, and I think that's just pulls right off real easy. I'll do that with 2 hands. And then I think I'm going to remove this metal shield. There's like a thing here to, looks like it's to prevent you from taking this off, because no, you have to be a specialized guy to do that. Looks like, looking down in here, I'm going to touch the nut right there. So if I take that one off, and then on the back side here, right back here, I'm touching the other one. I think if I just take those 2 nuts off, then this whole plate, it looks like it's just on like a little peg there. So it should slip out real easy, and that'll give me a little more clearance. So that plate out of here. Okay, got the snorkel out by just compressing that little bellow section a little bit, and then it just came right out. So now we're going to get that nut down there. It is a 10 millimeter. Yeah. Okay, well, this back one, it's a little bit trickier to get to it, but I'm using a mid-sized deep socket, and the first extension I have on there is a wobble, and that got me in there good enough to make this happen. So I used my little magnet pickup tool to help me not lose that nut, and I was able to get that off, all right? So then this is still in there pretty tight with all the hoses against it, but I was able to get it to pop off of this peg here. So I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to completely remove it, like I said, but we got this back out of the way of our cap, so I should be able to get this cap open now. Let me go get my vacuum pump. Okay, I've got my crusty old vacuum pump here, and what I'm going to do is throw this. I'm going to start with my power steering, and it'll suck it out into this bottle. I'll pay attention and not let it get overly full, and then every time this bottle fills up, I will empty it out into my used containers. Okay, it's coming up, but it looks really brown. And that's even after I've topped this off with fresh. The fluid is supposed to be kind of like a greenish color. I'll show you in a minute, but look at that. That's not good. I have my power steering all vacuumed out. And on the right here, you can see this is what it's supposed to look like. I just put some in here, clear bottle. This is brand new fluid, fresh out of the bottle. And you see it's clear and it's green. And you can see right through it. This, if you look just through the bottom edge of this bottle against the white here, that's what I got out of my power steering fluid. It's brownish orange. I shouldn't have put it in a bottle with an orange label, but you can see the light coming through what color it is on the white box underneath. That's pretty bad. See back here, the nice green color on the box. So that fluid coming out of my power steering is bad. Be interesting to see what I get out of the ABC here in a minute. Okay, so I've got my power steering reservoir refilled just to the right level at the max, and that stuff was so nasty. After I run it for a while, I'll take another sample out of here because it's going to be running the whole time that we're changing this out. So after that, I'll take another sample here and seeing if it's still really brown, and it probably will be. I'll change it again just to try to get more newer fluid in here. So before I take this cap off, I'm going to go around and really try to clean a lot of this dirt and debris off so I get less chance of knocking any of it into my reservoir when I have it open. So clean up. Okay, we can see I put on some towels to protect my fender and my bumper here. And it's all cleaned up. Pretty good. So I guess what I'm going to do here, see about loosening this up. Probably going to take two hands. It took two hands, but it really wasn't that tight. All right. I'm glad I moved this over because I don't think there's definitely not a way to get this out of here. All right. Let's have a look here. It looks like I'm going to have to disconnect this hose in order to pull it out, and I do see the filter on there. It was a little bit difficult to get this hose off of here. I took the hose clamp off, obviously, and then the hose was pretty much stuck. It didn't want to move at all. So then I used some of these needle nose hose type grippers and grabbed a little lower and very carefully twisted it back and forth until it finally did break loose. And then I was able to work it out a little tiny bit until this little shoulder here presented itself. And then I was able to very slowly, while I'm wiggling back and forth, I used a little screwdriver in there, and then I ended up going up to a larger thing where I could go right down even here to push against the rubber hose. So it ended up coming off very good. Now let's have a look at our filter here. Okay, I'm going to let this drain out for a second, and then we'll go put it on the workbench. Have a look at the new one. Well, that's pretty scary looking. There's our new one. Nice, clean, very almost white filter element inside. Yeah, that's supposed to be white in there. Oh boy, I bet this fluid's just going to be disgusting. Well, let's see. Oh boy. Oh, that's bad. Yikes. It's really good that I'm doing this. I hope this doesn't end up making the whole system crash once it's finally clean. Oh, man. All right, I got to change this. Here we have samples. On the right, of course, is our fresh, brand new. Look at that. Light coming through is green. Nice, quite a bit of light. This is from the power steering pump, and it's orange. And like we've shown before, this is the ABC. Look at that. It's like hardly anything is even making it through. And I made sure to put about the same amount in each one. And yeah, I know there's the label in the way on these, but I can't get the labels off. I tried. Anyway, it's still, you can even just compare there to there. No light's getting through it. So, boy. To further prepare, I figured I better extend my hose here over into a bottle. And I first looked, I don't throw anything away around here. So I have a bit of a selection of old hoses and tubes. So I cut a piece of this vinyl tubing off, and it is half inch outside diameter, and then 3/8 inch inside diameter. If you go all the way over here, you see it was made in February of 2003. So, yes, I've had this laying around for a long time. So it fit inside here perfectly, this half inch outside. I could just slip it in snugly, and then I'm going to tighten up the original hose clamp here, and hopefully that will give me a good enough seal. And I have to clear all this stuff off the engine before I start it. I'll get all this loose stuff out of the way. And I guess we're getting close to starting her up and starting the pump process. The clamp is tightened up. Seems like it holds pretty good, but I put a little bit of paper towel there just so it's telling me immediately if there's any sort of seepage or dripping coming from there. And I have some extra towels for wiping. I'm not sure if I'm going to need this dipstick or not. I can probably kind of tell because this is full, and I should be able to tell by how much I'm extracting when I need to add more fluid, but we'll see. And then I have set up some exhaust fans here, so hopefully I won't asphyxiate myself. So I'm going to start it up. And there it goes. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty nasty. Okay, I gotta add some. Okay, I shut it off. I've taken out, I haven't even taken out that much. And already you can see how much greener the fluid is. It almost looks like I'm already to fresh fluid. So I know I'm at when it's running, it has a lower level. So I'm going to add a little more with it off. I'm going to start it up again after I clear out that bottle, and then maybe I'll exercise the ride height a little bit while it's running. Wow, I'm shocked at how quickly we got to this clean fluid with how black it was. Okay, I've got it filled back up to way over what its normal level should be. So and I emptied out both my bottles here into this one and marked it as used. So I'll take it to the oil recycling center. So let me go start her up again, and I'll push the ABC ride height button. I've filled it right back up almost all the way. Look how nice that's looking. I have removed about 5 liters so far. So if this, I think I said it was just like a 1.3 gallons. So I should be already, obviously, into that nice fresh stuff that I had. Like, if I hadn't pumped out all that black stuff, I'd still be getting it through. But at this point, I'm getting all that nice clean stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and run one more cycle with it running. While it's running, I take the funnel, put it in here, and I'm going to continue to try to fill it while it's running for another minute or so, and until this bottle gets filled up. And I will go ahead and raise it to the highest level and then lower it again. And then I think we'll be good. Okay, I just dipped a little bit of paper towel into my power steering pot, and you can see it's still pretty yellow and orange. So I'm going to go ahead and vacuum pump out the power steering one again and refill it again with fresh. And I might even do it twice more. But this stuff looks great, the ABC. So I just took a sample of where we're at, and that's the middle one. So the right one is brand new, and the left one is what we started with. And hold on, let me get my flashlight ready. How it started, you can see even with the super bright flashlight, nothing can really make its way through the fluid. So I think we've made a terrific improvement. Now, let me do the filter. So you can see where I have this already partially taken apart. The ring goes over it like this, so I took that off. And now we have our, this was attached here. So in order to get this off, there's this spring on the bottom, and you need to push in on this spring fairly hard in order to get this hook to pop up far enough where it will come out of, you see inside here, there's a little tab with a hole. And so that hook has to come up and hook onto that in order to hold the whole thing together. So once you have it out of there, then you can just pull the rest of this stuff out and then reinstall it into the new one. So make sure that the hook isn't stuck up here on the edge. Once it's clear and in the hole, then it slips right apart, no problem. Okay. So now I'm gonna wipe this off a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't look too terrible. Okay. Slip that back through. Going to slip that over the top. And I'm going to push down so I can grab this with the hook. And there we have it. Nice. Not so nice. Okay, so I'm going to take my hose clamp off. Put it on here. Then I'm going to support all of this plastic stuff with this hand while I'm pushing on the hose here. So hopefully I don't stress anything or break the tank, or this old plastic can be pretty brittle. I'm going to work it in a circle until it just about seats right up against the little lip. I'll put back on this hose clamp, and I'll verify that my level is correct when everything's nice and cooled down, and I'll correct the level if I need to. And I think that's it. We're done. I checked my level, got it just right. So now I'm going to go ahead and pop this plate back in. There we go. And it gets us back into position. And I'm going to put back on my two 10mm nuts I have right here. Then we really are done. Oh, I still have to put the snorkel back in.
Better than it was.